the Radio Ranchcast with Scott Chase and friends. Now, there's Scott Chase. What's up, Scott Chase?
Hey, man, not much, buddy. Clint, how are you, dude? You good?
I'm really good. Now, I'm going to bring them up one at a time here, Scott, and I'll let you introduce them as they appear on screen. So you don't know we got two other people. It's a mystery of which one I'm going to pull up first, Scott. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Now, who in the world is that?
Oh, my gosh. It's Kelly McCoy. Wow, that's crazy. Kelly, how are you?
So, in other words, Clint, you did age before beauty this time, right?
Absolutely, I did.
Whoa. Really?
It's like the worst version of It's Your Life.
And there's Dodger. How about you, man? What about you? Talk about pretty. Yeah, he's a pretty one. He's a pretty one. Yeah, he's a pretty one.
See, I figured that with you see everybody online, they've got bookshelves behind them all the time, so I had to put a bookshelf behind me.
I had to change. So I have a little studio built at my house, but the internet's been so wacky. I actually I've got a good sized little living room. So I've made half of my living room where I can, because my modem's like right there. Mm-hmm. Well, the other day I did one and I realized that, and Kelly will appreciate this. Here you go, Kelly. Hold on a second. It's my dog blanket. See, it's got pictures of dogs. And so real quick, and then Scott, I'm going to hand it off to you because it is the Radio Ranchcast, and I'll let you tell about all the stations. But so Kelly, you'll appreciate this. I was sitting over there, but I had these giant, thick, velvety looking curtains, like 1970s curtains. And some guy on the podcast goes, "Are you shooting this podcast at your grandmother's house?"
No, she said, "No, it's a Graceland." Okay.
So now it's just me and my dog blanket when I do podcasts.
Yeah. I was going to put a flag back behind me, but I couldn't decide which one to put. But I got to tell you a story about a flag real quick. We're up in Virginia visiting my son, and in his neighborhood, we're driving down the neighborhood, and there was a huge Trump supporter and I'm not going to get real political one way or the other because I just don't do this, but this is kind of funny. We drive by and he's got a banner like in the yard, and I look up and he's got a great big flagpole, and he has got a huge Trump flag. So who I was riding with is not a huge Trump fan, so I'll leave it at that. So I stop and I jump out of the vehicle and I run over there and say, quick, would you get a picture of me real quick? Oh, man, you would have never believed the storm I created right there. And I loved it, man. I loved it.
That's called trolling. Thank you very much. You trolled. Hey, do me a favor, Scott and Kelly. And I know everybody knows everybody on the screen, but let's just make sure everybody knows what they do at the Radio Ranch. Okay. And that way these stories will start making some sense when we talk.
Kelly, I'm not so sure about, but
well, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Let me ask you this the way that most people ask people who are in radio, because I've been in radio on the other side. Yeah. What the hell do y'all exactly do there? That's
well, let's see. What I've done, I moved here, in the 80s or whatever. I was program director, KZ106, taking on to a couple of extra. Now I'm operations manager for the group of radio stations, and Kelly was here then. Kelly worked in programming and worked a little bit on WGOW-AM back in the day, and then she actually got away from me for a period of time. I'm not sure exactly how that happened, but you did. You did some other things that we're all not real proud of.
Big name on the other line.
It was okay. And during that period of time when she happened to be gone, I'll tell you this real quickly. We had a variety of different bunch of characters. One of the reasons we started this broadcast to talk about things that kind of happened around the radio station, the kind of WKRP-ish that it is, but the different characters that have been in and out of here. The morning person that was working when I got here ended up getting into some mischief and ended up going away, and we had a variety of different people that filled that position, one of which was quite a joker, but his name was Ace. Quite a joker, but his name was Ace. We partnered him up with me, Ace and Chase, for a period of time, and then but I couldn't stand a whole lot of it, and so we had another person that ended up being that's not that person right now, ended up so, and they're okay people, but he's kind of, not that a lot of us haven't had our share of partying in our life. We have. What? We're entertainers, and we like to entertain, and so we do consequently. So I had a big Christmas get together, and all the different personalities, especially on the programming side, the jocks of the radio station, came over the house. We cooked some food. I think I cooked a bunch of chicken legs, and we all came over, and these couple of people, Ace being one of them, and another, around the house, they went outside and they walked back in. We're all sitting around, and it's kind of cold and it's warm inside right there. And he sits right down in my nice big recliner, my big easy chair. Everybody else had not gotten in the easy chair because I'd taken a bunch of folding chairs in here so everybody would have a place to be. And he drops right down in this folding my chair, and I'm thinking, okay. And started looking around. I think, man, there's something here that doesn't smell like chicken legs because they smell really good. And I said, man, somebody got dog crap on their shoes in here because I had dogs. And I started looking around, and I'll be doggone if he hadn't got his feet propped up, and he is the one that's got the dog crap on the bottom of his foot right there. It was a crazy story. That was during that period of time when Kelly got away for a little while, but we got her back, and then she worked all nights. And actually, I got Kelly back in the building when we met at a Lookouts game in the afternoon one day. And I said, Kelly, we'd sure like to get you back here at the ranch. She wasn't gone for a long period of time. She missed us so much. You know how good. Clint, you've been back for, I mean, half a dozen times, right? You can't stay away either. Except some of the time. So
well,
Kelly,
until they just tell you not to come back. I mean,
Keyfob stops working for some reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kelly is like, you know, she and I are extension of one another, man. We've run KZ106 for years, for over 3 decades together. She does everything. I think of things, and then she does things. It's pretty amazing.
That is so accurate.
I was going to say, Kelly, if it was up to, I mean, I like Scott, know Scott, and thinking of things is his strong suit. The doing things.
Oh yeah.
Can I jump in here and just tell you a quick Scott Chase story?
I wish you would.
And my dear friend Wendy will attest to this because it happened to both of us when we were both working together at the same time. Scott would like grab us in the hallway and come up with this great idea. And the first thing out of his mouth would be, let's do, and fill in the blank. But I was like, hey, let's. And we quickly found out that our name was Let's, because it was like he was never going to do it. He was just telling us what to do. So it was like, yeah, I just got Let's again.
Guess what? Happened to me last week. Yeah.
Then he follows up with you like, so how's that going, Kelly?
Yeah.
So Kelly, she's just awesome and always has been. And Dodger, I say, is new. How long you been here? Probably over 3 years now? 4?
4 years as of July.
Wow. See, so he's that's the kind of folks that we have here. I mean, it's not as easy to get in the door as you think it might be, but it's, you know, once you get here, you end up staying here for a long time. Dodger, of course, runs our 107.9 country station, works in the afternoon on the country station. And we realized that just wasn't enough for him to do. And additional things. In fact, I said, you know, let's, I think I just did that, as a matter of fact.
I knew it was coming.
And the next thing you know, so he's taken on some additional roles as the kind of the marketing digital manager in our building, because we had fallen a little bit short and our social platform. And so he's kind of bringing us up to where I wouldn't say we're in 2020 yet. We're somewhere probably in the 2010, 2011. We're on our way. And
well,
Dodger's helping us get there.
Well, and I'll tell you this about quick about Dodger and Scott. You were working on your audio, but you know, Dodger and I have talked about the Radio Ranchcast, which you're starting with Scott Chase, and I sent some stuff over, just ideas, suggestions, questions, and he got on, and I said, "Hey, dude, if you had a chance to look at that email," and he goes, "Oh, I've had a busy week," and then I thought he's like reporting to me. I don't work for anybody. I have zero authority, and I know in the back of his mind, he's like, "You're an asshole, dude. I don't report to you. I'll get back to you when I can get back to you, man.
You're on my time." Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I responded. Here. Didn't you get it, Clint? Oh, no. It must be in your spam.
On the anniversary of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, I feel like I should be on my time as opposed to Mr. Hand's time.
That's right.
Yeah, that's one of the movies I saw play at the Tivoli, I believe, isn't it? Yes. When they were doing the Bobby Stone film series, they showed Bohemian Rhapsody, and I think a week or two later they showed, and man, I tell you what, they had on the big speakers in the Tivoli, man, and some of the tunage in that movie is particularly good. I've always thought. Yeah.
Well, the movies from the 70s and 80s, the soundtracks, you know, and I actually had one of the questions I was going to ask, and Scott, unless you got another thing you were going to ask, I'm going to get to it.
I got to keep some I want this to go on for a long time. I don't want them to change my key out anytime soon, you know. So I got to keep a little bit back here.
Well, the good thing is, Scott, we're all getting old enough to where if you tell the same story over, we forget. So we're all we share the same story every week. Now, Kelly and I asked you, Dodger, this both because I've asked Scott Chase this, but I think it would interest Scott too. I talked to him when he first came on. I asked him the question of what was his favorite concert he ever saw. And, you know, it could be because of the music or because who it was, or it could be the time of your life. But do you have a favorite concert that you have seen?
Me? Oh, yeah. I absolutely do. It was in the fall. It was in October. It was at Starwood Amphitheater. It was a beautiful fall evening, a huge harvest moon up in the sky. We had Little Feat opening for the Allman Brothers. And first of all, the music was amazing. The beer was cold. The setting was perfect. And so we're sitting there, and it's the intermission time. And I was there with my best friend. And all of a sudden, we look up, and her sister and brother-in-law are like walking right past where our blanket was. It's like, hey, Lori. And so they join us, and they had a little portable television because this was during the World Series, and the Braves were playing the Twins. And it was a must-win game for the Braves. So we sat there and we watched the game with the Allman Brothers on stage, and we're watching, and between songs, it was like the people behind us, hey, what's the score? You know, and so we, you know, kind of do it, and you could just see it kind of go like wildfire all across the grassy area up there at Starwood. And you know, by the time it got to the other side of the stadium, it was like 42-0. Yes. But yeah. So it was really cool. The game was still going when the concert was over. So we had about 30 people that joined around us on the blanket, and everybody was watching the game until the staff finally kicked us out. So we propped the TV up on the garbage can right outside the gate and finished watching the game, and the Braves won. And there were so many cars that were still in the parking lot listening to the game, and car horns were just going off like crazy. So that will be a very hard one to top.
Who was the makeup of the Allman Brothers right then? Do you remember who was?
Oh, it was the original. Well, obviously, yeah, you know, not Dwayne, but yeah, that Greg was with him, and. Oh man,
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I bet.
Roger, your turn.
This is tough because there's so many. I know Scott.
He's going to say Oasis.
Tell that Britney Spears story again, okay?
So tell me about your best Justin Timberlake.
Kelly's close, although it would be a top 5 list. I get made fun of.
Aguilera. Was it Christopher Cross? Was it Christopher Cross?
It is not, unfortunately. No, I've got 2 that I would talk about. First of all, first one would be what I claim as my first concert ever, which was at the Roundhouse. I think it was '82, the Kiss Creatures tour. And my parents took us to that. My brother and I, we were up in the upper deck, probably like the second to last row. And my dad to this day still claims that it was the loudest thing he's ever been to, hearing it damaged as a result of it. But just seeing Eric Carr on drums and the big tank turret that was spinning that his drum set was on is just one of my favorite memories. And one of the others is, worked up in Knoxville for a while at Classic Rock Station up there, and we did a totally free Leonard Skinner concert. And just having the ability to be in Thompson Bowling and 20,000 around, and we had the run of the show basically because we threw the concert. So we're walking around backstage, just hanging out and hobnob in front row for all the songs. And just as the band was a little older, obviously it wasn't the heyday of the band, but it was before a number of the members had passed. And so certainly one of those memories that always just stands out. Such a cool moment.
It was a great show. I was there with Randy Ross that night, man. That's been a while back though. How many years ago?
That would have been a good 15 to 20,
yeah,
I guess.
I was thinking at least 15 years. Yeah, it was good, man. That was a great night, man.
We went to the Janet Jackson. Thank you very much. It was the late 80s, early 90s tour in Knoxville, and I think it was the Black Cat tour. I don't remember, but I don't know, my early 20s. Anyway, but I went with a buddy. He called me up. I went to a little school outside Knoxville. He was still here in Chattanooga. And he said, "Hey man, I got 2 tickets to this concert up there, you know, in the big arena." I'm like, "For who?" He goes, "Janet Jackson." I'm like, "A party, you know, we go out Knoxville, go to a concert." Absolutely. So we go, we had a few beers. He had a few more than I did because I'm responsible. Thank you very much. But so, yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway, thank y'all for that. My kids are watching. I'm very responsible. They're liars.
They really are.
No, but so if Janet Jackson's facing straight, we are to the left of her, along with 4.8 million other people, right? And my buddies had a few beers, and man, she is so beautiful. And I'm like, yeah. And he's a big, tall guy. And so she comes across the stage, you know, she's working the stage. And he grabs my arm. He goes, dude, she looked right at me. Look at that. She's looking at, I mean, he starts screaming it. She's looking right at me. And I'm looking at him like, along with, again, 4.8 billion people, a million people looking at him like, you got to get him settled down there, big fella. I'm like, hey, we got to pull it down a notch. I don't think she noticed you that much, but to this day, and if he listens to this, you know who you are. To this day, he will tell you, dude, she looked right at me.
Yeah, I'm the mayor. I'm the mayor of Rhythm Nation, right here.
Well,
right
but
here.
You know what? That's a good sign of somebody that knows how to work the stage. And I bet everybody in that arena thought that she was looking at them at one point in time. So concerts. Are there concerts you didn't go to? Are there groups or people you wanted to see and haven't seen? Anybody?
For me, AC/DC. Never saw AC/DC. I don't know how that happened, but never have seen AC/DC.
I would like to see them. Kelly?
For me, it would definitely be Rush. And the kicker is that we actually had tickets for a Rush show, and it was down at the Verizon Wireless Amphitheater, and it was absolutely pouring rain. And, you know, I'd never seen Rush before. My friend had seen him but wanted to go back and see him again. But we just decided we were too old to go sit in the rain for a couple of hours. And so it was like, we'll catch him next year. Well, guess what? There was no next year. Oh. So that was my huge missed opportunity. And I will regret that forever.
Yeah, Kelly mainly took mine. Rush is on my list of missed opportunities. Guns N' Roses is the other one.
Really?
Never got a chance.
I saw them a couple times. Yeah. Good. Real good.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, because Dodger, I asked Kelly and asked Scott, radio, how'd you get into it and why'd you get into it?
God, how much time do we have?
Not much. Not much.
Stumbled into it. Lucky to have a job. Fortunately, somebody hired me to do sports for some stupid reason. And ever since the moment a microphone was stuck in my face, I can't have a microphone in my hand without trying to talk into it. So,
wow, you did good. You did really good. You answered that short, really concise.
There's a much longer story to that, trust me, but we'll give you the...
We're out of time.
The credits are rolling and there's the music starting to play and they're going straight to commercial. All right, Scott, what else you got for us today, man? We're running on about 20 minutes.
For next time, man. This has been good. Been fun hanging out with you guys, though. I think we ought to have somebody else maybe join us next week, and we'll kind of add to the party.
Am I allowed to throw a name out there, or is that up to you?
No, throw a name out there if you want. Who?
I'm not even going to say a name. I'll just throw a comment out there, and with a number 2 pencil directly into my eye.
Man. Okay. I just talked to him earlier today. He'd be great. Okay.
Just tell him to pick a story out that doesn't get us kicked off. Hey, the FCC, we're not all controlled. We can do what we want to, man.
Yeah, we can do whatever.
Easy, big fella.
I can't even say it.
All right.
Good hanging with you, Dodger. Appreciate you, Kelly. As always, love you.
Yep.
Man, you're a good guy, man. Thanks for kind of harnessing the power as best you could.
Well, and I want to tell everybody, what they're seeing the last couple of weeks and maybe the next 2 or 3 weeks till they get this. We figure it all out. The Radio Ranchcast, Scott Chase and friends eventually will be on all the radio stations' platforms, and it's going to be something new. It'll end up being video and switch over to podcast. And so we're just getting used to this format. And then after that, y'all are going to take it and make it really good. So thank y'all for letting me be part of it.
Thanks for being part
of it. All right, guys and girls. Thank y'all very much. Bye, everybody. See y'all next week.